A very good morning, Fabio here. Hope you are doing fantastic and welcome back to another daily market outlook in which I explain what I see and what my vision is on the major dollar pairs and of course gold. So what you can see in the background is a beautiful, beautiful sunny day here in Amsterdam. So let's just dive in. Vibes are good and the markets are looking fantastic as well. So EURUSD overall has been reacting to its supply zone, which we mentioned in yesterday's video. I think it's extremely clear what we're looking for here on euro dollar. As we can see, the overall fractal high has still been respected, so that is why we are currently selling off, right? If we zoom out, the overall momentum is in towards the downside, and then all we do, and as you remember from yesterday's video, is that we then check out what the fractal structure is doing. So this is our fractal high, this is our fractal low, and we are now just looking for downside continuation in line with both the swing and the fractal trend. So once you've identified that on the daily time frame and you understand, okay, we've tapped in towards a daily supply zone, this daily supply zone is strong because it also grabbed liquidity above these previous highs, we are then ready to understand that the market might be ready to sell off further down lower. So what I then do is I go in towards the 4-hour time frame and I check out, okay, what is the 4-hour telling me? Well, the 4-hour is telling me that shorts are looking good. Now, there is one issue, okay? And that is the fact that the 4-hour never went up higher to grab liquidity above this high, which is really what I wanted, because that would have meant that this would have been the 4-hour change of character, and then we would have been ready to get into those shorts, right? Because then this becomes your supply zone, and then you want to look for that shorts over here. Now, it's not an issue because still we understand that we're trading from the extreme and the momentum in towards the downside is high. So what I'm now looking at is, okay, we've seen an initial break over here. Now we've seen another break over here. To me, this is just bearish confirmation. So what I'm now looking at for today is to see, can this supply zone now provide us with another entry here on EURUSD. So I'll be keeping my eyes open for another short here on euro dollar, but there is one other pair in this video that looks even better than euro dollar, which I'll touch upon in a second. But overall, just looking for downside continuation here on EURUSD. Now, if you watch my video on Monday, you will understand that we were also looking at a 1-hour setup on euro dollar. There was a 1-hour fractal break over here where we saw the fractal high get broken. Then this was the fractal low break, and then at that point in time, this was your high and this over here was your low. We saw a retracement all the way back up into premium and into where? In towards that refined 1-hour area of supply, which is your buy before the sell. Now, if we were to have taken that setup, we would have been in cash land or in candy land, whatever you want to call it, at this point in time, because you would have been up around 2.3%. So a very nice trading opportunity that was on Monday. Hope some of you were able to take that short. Now I'm just looking for downside continuation on EURUSD as the overall momentum is down, the fractal structure is down on the daily time frame at least, because if we look at the 4-hour fractal structure, guys, please do understand that the 4-hour fractal structure is still bullish. Yeah, that's the only issue that I have with EURUSD at this point in time, and that is the fact that this over here, all the way down over here, is your 4-hour fractal low. This is your 4-hour fractal high. So we could also just start reacting very soon to this area of demand over here, for example, and use this as a liquidity low. But even if that was the case, then you can still just draw in the pre-inverse discount tool, and then you could have understood that yes, maybe a 1-hour short setup from there would have been a possibility. But recently I've only been trading with a 4-hour alignment, so therefore I'm just waiting for the 4-hour. Now there is one pair that has that 4-hour alignment, and that is GBP USD, but I'll touch upon that in a second, because first we'll look at the dollar. And the dollar did exactly as we expected. We can see here on the daily time frame that the daily time frame over here respected the daily fractal low here. This is your daily fractal high. So remember what I mentioned in yesterday's video, as long as the black line is respected, which we did pretty much to just a few pips, we should continue up higher, and the demand zone has held, right? So this demand zone has held, and we're now pushing up higher. So just looking for further upside here on the 4-hour time frame and on the daily time frame. At this point in time, do remember that the 4-hour fractal high is all the way up here, which is not very positive for myself at least. So what I'll be waiting for is for that high to break, and then I'll have even more confidence that EURUSD is then ready to continue down lower, and also the other XXX USD pairs also to head down lower, okay? So I'm waiting for that high to break on the dollar, and then I'll have some more confirmation for even more longs. So that's the dollar, still looking bullish, no sign of slowing down. Obviously, if you go up a time frame in towards the weekly, you can see that the weekly supply zone is still holding. If you were to refine it to just the buy before the sell, then there is still a lot of room to go. Around 110,500 is kind of like the end target for the dollar for now. And yeah, as long as the demand flow is holding and the fractal structure is holding, because here on the weekly time frame you also have a demand zone which aligns with that daily demand zone, yeah, we should continue up higher, and I'll have more confirmation that we're ready to continue up higher once the 4-hour fractal high breaks. Okay, so waiting for this high to go. Next on is Aussie dollar, of course, and then we'll dive into GBP USD. So Aussie dollar itself has pushed down lower once again. Obviously, it has been influenced by the dollar itself, with the dollar being very strong, pushing AUD USD down, because AUD has actually been AUD has been weak as well with the news last night, I think. Don't quote me on that, I have to check just to be sure. But overall here on the daily, I'm not a big fan of AU, main reason being because of the fact that we have a fractal high break over here and we're now inside a demand. This sell before the buy over here on the daily. So this could still cause AUD USD to push up higher. But don't quote me on that, because the dollar index is still bullish. So the dollar is just king and the dollar can just push it down, and then fractal structure will be disrespected. Obviously, also the momentum is in towards the downside. So one fractal break doesn't kind of like change the whole, let's say, scene of things. Also, I would have preferred to only look for longs actually if we take out this major swing low, grab liquidity underneath, and then maybe look for a pullback trade. That would be far higher probability. So I'm not going to take the longs, even though the daily fractal structure is indicating that a pullback might be coming. Also, the 4-hour swing structure as well, with the 4-hour here, swing break down, swing break up. So this is kind of like a nice retracement in towards the downside, because now you've kind of seen a retracement all the way into discount. But yeah, also the fact that the 4-hour fractal structure now flipped bearish as well. This was a 4-hour fractal low break, indicates to me that we're kind of like in indecision. This is now your 4-hour supply zone, which is fighting against the daily demand zone. And then overall, we're just kind of like more in a range. So I would, yeah, just personally stay out of Aussie dollar at the moment, because it's too much contradicting time frames. So the time frames are contradicting with one another. Now, GBPUSD is actually the more cleaner one. If we look here at the daily time frame, what we can see is that the daily fractal structure remains bearish. And we sold off again from that daily supply zone. Overall, again, very clear, daily momentum is in towards the downside, or at least the daily swing is in towards the downside. Then what happens, we form fractal structure as well, which is bearish. We make a retracement into that buy before the sell, which I mentioned in yesterday's video, and that is now acting as a supply zone. Now, what we have here on GBPUSD on the 4-hour time frame then is we have the bearish confirmation, which is the fact that we saw this liquidity high get grabbed. We grab the liquidity and we come in with an uptrend, and then boom, we shift. We see the 4-hour fractal break, and then this buy up for the sell down becomes your supply zone, okay? So what I'm now looking for, or at least what I was looking for, was a retracement in towards there, and then just to take the short. I was actually even I was even doubting, or not doubting, I was contemplating, I think is the right word, if I should have just shorted like this, but you can see that we never tapped into it. So what I'm now looking at is just following the 4-hour fractal structure, because the dollar is extremely strong at this point in time. So we've seen another 4-hour fractal break, meaning this buy before the sell is now our supply zone that is in control. So what I'll now do today is just look for another short inside of that supply zone and see if we can get in on another potential short skill in, or whatever you want to call it. Because if momentum is extremely high, you don't always retrace all the way back up in towards that 4-hour supply zone. Now, obviously, it is preferred to retrace in towards that 4-hour supply zone. But if we don't, then we can just sell off from here. So this is kind of like trade opportunity number 1, and then trade opportunity number 2 will come inside of there. Those are the two options that we have. So if you want the highest probability trade, then you drop down in towards the 15-minute today, and then you wait for the market to retrace in towards that kind of like, let's say, this buy before the sell over here. Wait for the market to retrace, give us bearish confirmation, and then we look for the sell. So that's what I'm looking for on GBPUSD. It's my highest conviction play for the day ahead. Going into NZD USD, and then of course gold. NZD USD is very similar to AU. I'm not really going to talk about it too much. The fact is that it's the exact same as AU pretty much. Here, daily fractal high break. Now we are inside daily demand. Obviously over here, zoom out a bit and you can see there's nothing really very substantial over here when it comes to like fresh demand zone. So I'm not really looking to trade like a pullback just based on one daily fractal structure break. And also the 4-hour time frame is telling me that we are at the moment ranging, right? We can see that we're kind of like inside this box. First, we take out the range low, we move back up, then we take out the range high, we move back down. So for myself, it's very risky to start trading this. And then also 4-hour fractal low break over here, which broke this fractal high. So just to keep it very simple for you, push up, pull back, push up, and now push down again, pull back, push down is now what we're seeing again. a low break over here, and another low break is now incoming. So 4 hours bearish, daily is fractal bullish, but daily swing is bearish again. So like again, the time frames are fighting with each other. So just focus on where time frame alignment is visible, and that's for example on GBPUSD, because those will always be the highest probability trades. Going into gold, last of all, what can we see? Gold itself has pushed up higher once again. Daily demand did its thing yesterday. We can see that the daily demand zone over here pushed the market up higher. So this sell before the buy pushed it up higher. And now what I'm looking at is the 4 hour time frame. And as long as the 4 hour time frame holds as well, we should continue up higher. So what we can see here is 4 hour high, fractal break. Then what is the fractal low? That is this low over here. Therefore, this then becomes your demand zone, and we can see that we tap in and we push straight back out again. So for myself, it just only makes sense to further look at upside here on gold until we see the 4 hour low break once again. So if this black line breaks, then I'll be looking at shorts. Otherwise, longs are the only thing that I'm looking at. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Wish you all a fantastic trading day. Make sure to join Discord and see you there.